DJ podcast. Chicago Bears won. Just got done watching the game. Chicago Bears versus Detroit. They lost the game. And it just, it felt good at first. Just, it was a microcosm of exactly what the season has been. It's exactly, that's probably the best way to describe it. Is this was a microcosm of what the season has been. You're watching Justin Fields. He looks good. He looks sharp. He's getting the ball off on time. Everything that you would kind of want to see from him. Running the ball, some design runs, running for first downs. They lost the game 31-26. And once again, though, right at the end of it, you have a chance to go down, score a field goal. You had at least 2 timeouts. I think you had all 3 of your timeouts. And you can go down. All you had to do is get in field goal range. This was a 3-point game. This was a 3-point game, and all you had to do was get in field goal range to get it there and put it into overtime. Now you had this game. Like I said, all you had to do is put this game in field goal range. Santos already hit like 3 or 4 field goals on the day. You put it there within like 50 yards, you have a pretty good chance of getting into overtime. But once again, Fields showing you who he is and fumbles the ball. Yeah, Detroit, good defense, coming in there strong, coming in there hot. It fumbles the ball, then it goes it goes in the back of the end zone for a safety. It just seems like bad follows Justin Fields after good. Can he turn it around? Yeah. I guess if we see him play like he did throughout the rest of the season, like the first, I would say he played a pretty good solid 4 quarters of football in a really bad 25 seconds right there at the end, but that's all it took. And the problem is we see that a lot from Fields. We see all of a sudden at the end he's throwing an interception, he's fumbling the ball. It seems like he has a 4th quarter fumble like every other game. And that's what I feel. I'm not quite positive on this one if that's exactly what we're seeing, but that's what I feel like I'm seeing. That's what I feel like I'm seeing from Fields. Like every other game, he's having a 4th quarter fumble where we're just saying, well, there it is again, Justin Fields, right? The defense looked sharp throughout the game. Montez Sweat had a good sack. We saw Fields running. Not just for first downs, but for yardage to throw the ball downfield. He had an awesome, perfect throw to DJ Moore. He does have a really good connection with DJ Moore. Also, at the end of the game, they had the ball. I want to say it was like 3rd and 9, and you're throwing it all the way downfield to Scott. Well, it's like you're winning this game, or you have good momentum in the game anyhow, and all you really had to do was get a first down. It's like, come on. Why are we doing the 30-yard pass right now? I guess you got to cement yourself. Which way is it going to go? Break it till you make it, I would have loved to just see, there would have been a perfect chance for a check down route on 3rd and 9 instead of going 40 yards. Then 1st and 10, then throw Scott out there. I think it's Taylor Scott. I throw him out there for that 30-yard game. But the momentum's in your half, and it's like, yeah, all right, bomb pass down to the end to Scott, a rookie player. Yeah, he had good chemistry with Bagent, but he's not Fields' guy. Scott did show, he has really good hands with Tyson Bagent, but I think him and Tyson Bagent are more on the page. Kind of kind of like Justin Fields and DJ Moore. You know, I kind of trust Justin Fields going to DJ Moore than anybody else on that field. Cole Kmet had a couple of catches, some good blocking. He was not as active as he was with Tyson Bagent, but he had some good games in there, some good plays in there as well. 3 catches, 20 yards for Cole Kmet, so that's pretty good. Scott 1 for 4 yards. DJ Moore 7 for 96 yards and a touchdown, along with 39. Darnell Mooney, he had 1 catch for 24 yards. Bagent's definitely spreading that ball out a little bit more, but today though was a very heavy run game. Very heavy run game. Fields had 18 carries for 104. Khalil Herbert, good to see him back with 16 for 35. Not a lot of yards for him, but we were trying to get him back in the game. This was his first game back since he rolled his ankle, I believe, versus the Washington Commanders. So it's good to see him back. Roschon Johnson, 6 for 30. My problem is that you're seeing Fields with the number one amount of carries. He has 18, and his back has 16. See, as much as I like Fields, and as much as I see him as talented, and as much as you see that he really, I don't think he completely fills out that all-star like Lamar Jackson for a running quarterback. You need to be both accurate to the max and have the talent. See, that's where I feel like Lamar Jackson, his accuracy is really good, right? Today Fields was 16 for 23, almost had as many rushing attempts as passing attempts. He was throwing 7.3 yards average, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He was sacked twice. Not a bad day for Justin Fields. Once again, I don't want to see him making so many big plays. They had a lot of designed runs with him. So it is like, which way are we going with them? And they didn't work. You notice that? They didn't work. His improvise was better than his design runs. That's the way I felt. I felt like he had more improvised runs go well for him. He kind of re-grabbed that ability. Because before this, you were seeing improvised runs going right to the pile. This time he was running out a little bit, catching it to the side. But a lot of design runs that didn't go, where he just, you can tell that I felt like his design runs were worse than his improv runs. But whatever. That's neither here nor there. So what overall? How do I feel about Fields moving forward? If he continues to throw the ball like he's throwing in this game, I'm at 50-50. They should keep him. Maybe trade him. I think they should try and trade him. Try and get some draft picks out of him. That'd be cool. So far, I am still leaning probably, I'll use Matt Eberflus turns, 51-49%, yes, no. That was an Eberflus quote. Overall, I'm still at like 55-60%. Let's see a new quarterback next year. It's challenging because Fields is super talented. You can see the talent, but talent does not always equal greatness. Talent does not always equal greatness, especially in the NFL, because it's so hard to be a top 10 quarterback. You got 32 quarterbacks in the league, and to be a top 10, even a top 15 quarterback is really challenging. And you do see a lot of people enter the league with a ton of talent, and then by the time they exit the league you go, I don't know. I think most famously will always be Eli Manning. I do put him in the Hall of Fame, yes, side. I am for Eli on the yes of the Hall of Fame. He had those two Super Bowl wins, and then it was just kind of like Mr. Interception could not get the ball down. Very talented guy. I think he got his 2 wins on the 2 teams that had really good defense. That's one thing you have to remember is those New York Giants teams had some really good defense. Not to say that Eli Manning did not contribute to his wins, but for a while he was considered a top 10. All of a sudden he drops out. Of course, being a Bears fan, we had our Jay Cutler years. He was always argued, is he a top 10? And he was never quite in that top 10 market. I would always put him around like the top half, 11 through 15 type of guy. He was really exciting to watch. Threw a lot of touchdowns, threw a lot of interceptions. I think the stat is 50-50 with him. Like literally 50 wins, 50 losses. Like he does have like a 500 record with the Bears. Especially towards the end of his Bears career, he just couldn't do it. He had a lot stacked up against them. The teams that he went to the Super Bowl with were also super awesome, great defensive teams. Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, Peanut Tillman. The guys I could still, Mike Brown, I could still remember their names even this many years since it's been. I think they went to the playoffs in 2010 or 2009 with Lovie Smith. That was the Jay Cutler years. And it was fun. It was exciting to watch. And I have a feeling that would be the best Fields will be. It's fun and exciting to watch. If they extend them, I'll be, I think, slightly disappointed. You put a better team around Fields. Really good defense. Once again, we would be leaning on the defense. You put really good defense, some really good wide receivers around him. I could see this team winning 10, 11, 12, maybe even 13 games. But you got a long ways to go. What are you, 3 wins this year? They can turn it around in the blink of an eye, depending on how they want to play next year's draft. Ryan Poles has a lot of work to do. He can draft. If he drafts the right quarterback, that would be awesome. If he solidifies this defense, solidifies the offensive line. If he can make a big splash with the draft and free agency going into next year, the Bears can completely turn it around. They're definitely not in a rebuild. They're in a build up. They're on the up of the build of a rebuild. They're swinging. They're right before the jump. And from this year going into next year, they need to make a huge jump and become a team. They need to become minimal a 500 team going into next year. And I really want to see that 9, 10, let's go with 10 wins next year. That would show major progress. It would show major progress by the Bears management, meaning Ryan Poles. I think they fire Matt Eberflus. Maybe they keep him because his defense is finally coming around. I don't know. I could see one more year with Matt Eberflus. The problem is if you do another year with Matt Eberflus, you might as well do another year with Justin Fields and finish his career as a Chicago Bear. But then I think you're losing a year on the rebuild. Then that would be, in my mind, a very lackluster, very boring. It would set up next year to be another disappointment. That's another thing about it. Keeping Justin Fields, keeping Matt Eberflus. If you really, at the end of the year, if you really do like Matt Eberflus, I suppose you can stick with him and say, look, Justin Fields was not our guy. It's not who we would have picked. The last regime picked him. Since then, we've done a complete overhaul. Maybe Eberflus saves his job. I think Poles will be there. Poles is going to be judged on this upcoming draft. So he's going to be there. The question is Fields and Eberflus. That's the real question. I'm leaning towards Fields and Eberflus will be gone. I'm leaning towards that. I really am. It wouldn't make sense to me to hire a new coach and keep Fields. That would be, although, a very Chicago Bears move to do. Right? Let's get rid of the coach and keep Fields. He's not a rookie. That's the one thing we have to remember. This is his fourth year going into the fifth year. So you got to pay him. And right now, if you told me that the Bears signed Justin Fields for a big deal, of like even $25-30 million a year, I would be saying, hold up, wait a minute. Like, that's not what we signed up for. You know what I mean? That's what I don't want to see. I would be really disappointed seeing Justin Fields out there again, especially with a new coach. With Eberflus again, that's another lackluster. Best case scenario, I want to see Eberflus gone, new quarterback, and Ryan Poles doing his damnedest to get together as many draft picks as possible. Maybe trade Justin Fields. Another team out there would love to gamble with him, put him as a backup quarterback. You can put him in a situation where you have a quarterback war. I could see them doing that on the Steelers. Justin Fields to the Steelers, trying to get is it Pickett or Pickens? I always get confused which one is which. Seeing what he can do, but then you got Justin Fields behind him. He's a threat to a top. I'm going to say it like this: a top 13 quarterback. Just barely above the like 15's kind of the middle, 16's kind of the middle. I think Fields is right in that range. 13th, 14th in the league, simply because of his talent, his raw speed, his raw talent. He kind of reminds me of Jameis Winston, Justin Fields, like a real running around guy, a real like athletic, super athletic guy, super fast. Not quite. Maybe more like Michael Vick. Michael Vick was always a really good runner. I remember when he first entered the league. Man, he was like the first one. RG3 was kind of like Justin Fields. Cam Newton, but maybe RG3 is an even better example where I remember a lot of people questioning can he be a good pocket passer? Can he be a good thrower? I remember the year he came out, he was really, really exciting to watch. Robert Griffin III. He was so super exciting to watch, and he just kind of fell off. I kind of feel like that's going to be Justin Fields. Whether he stays with the Bears or if he gets traded or whatever, I just feel like that's where Justin Fields is heading. And that's how I feel about a lot of the quarterbacks that are like that are really fast, really talented, good arm strength, really agile, like everything you would kind of want in a running back. And it's like, maybe they should try that. You don't get paid as much, I guess. I don't know. That probably has something to do with it. But yeah, it's like, come on, let's see it. Let's see Justin Fields go out there and throw, 350 yards and 3 touchdowns, like no interceptions and no fumbles. Like that's what you want. But it's just trending. It's trending down. Even with a game like today where he looks good. All right, his passing looked like where we wanted it to see. 18 rushing attempts. I mean, come on, like that's a lot. It was more than your. It was more than your. Two more than your actual running back, and this was Khalil Herbert, like your number one running back this year. So it's kind of like you'd almost rather see more runs by Herbert than by Justin Fields. There were some plays where Fields stepped through the pocket, bought him some time. The one play to DJ Moore was a touchdown, is the one I'm describing, where he kind of stepped up and then threw it a perfect pass, perfect touch, right in front of DJ Moore. It was an easy catch for him, and it was touchdown. And it's like, all right, I want to see that. But then again, at the end, a big fumble. And you're just thinking to yourself, just get in field goal range. Santos will probably tie it up. He's a pretty good kicker. Yeah, Cairo Santos, right? Yeah. Anyways. I really, though, truly feel your best case scenario is new head coach, new quarterback. Ryan Poles hires a head coach and an offensive head coach and a really good defensive coordinator. I think that'll be the winning secret. Let's at least get the defensive side of the ball back. Let's at least put that together. This draft, like, completely make a really good defensive team. You have DJ Moore. You can build around him a little bit. I think that Tyler Scott guy will be good. I think he'll be a good utility guy you can use. Darnell Mooney, I want to see more from him, but he is working with Fields and Bagent. It's definitely try and sign him again. Keep him on the team. You don't want to. I don't think you want to let him go. Also, if he's coming up to a big contract, maybe you draft a new wide receiver this year. I can see doing that. Let's drop some of the garbage, some of the Velus Jones Jr. He's disappointed me enough this year. Add more to the offensive line. We could use another center. They've been struggling trying to find a center this year. There's so much to fix. And I think I said it last week. Unfortunately, we are looking at another wait till the next year type of season. But you're hopeful is that you are set up. Once again, you're set up. You've been set up 2 years in a row. And this is why it's the hot seat for Ryan Poles. Because you've been set up 2 years in a row. A lot of draft capital. A lot of money capital. It could be turned around. It could be turned around right now. You're going to have a high draft pick as far as the Carolina draft pick. You should have your own high draft pick. You're going to have two, conservatively, I think you're going to have two top 7, being conservative with top 7. You're going to have two top 7 two top 7 overall draft picks right here. That's exciting. So I guess that's what you're looking for. What do you do with those draft picks? Well, that's going to make or break Ryan Poles, right? So hopefully we see the right moves out of our management, and we're not doing another general manager switch, because that would deflate me completely. I'm always going to be a Bears fan. I'm always going to have Bears fandomship in my heart. I'm always going to be there because I really want to see it play out. I want to see it play out past the McCaskies. I think eventually the McCaskies sell the team. That should change them completely. It's a big market city. It's a big city to have. It's too big of a city to have this sketchy of a team. I think it would benefit them like crazy to move the team out of the city of Chicago. The city of Chicago itself is becoming a much more dangerous city. You know, Illinois has a lot of work to do. So for safety, for hosting big events, for having better travel in and out of the stadium, a bunch of people in the city are saying, "Well, I don't want to go all the way to the suburbs to watch a Bears game." We don't want to go all the way to the city to watch a Bears game. You could spend 4 hours, 5 hours just driving to the city and back, which would normally be a 30-minute drive, 45-minute drive. Under an hour anyways, it can easily turn into 4 hours of driving on a big game day, trying to get in and out of the city. Even on a Sunday, it's painful. The L track in Chicago, it gets you close. It gets you close to Soldier Field. It doesn't put you right there. You know, it's not like the Cubs and White Sox have the red line right there. It's the elevated station. For anyone who doesn't know, it's the like subway station. Although it's the L track, it stands for elevated. Little Chicago facts down there. But the Bears have, it's a beautiful view. It's the lakefront view, and that's about it. I am a fan of dome. Find me 22 players who like to play in the snow. Find me 54 players, 53 players who like to play in the snow. Whatever it is, 52 or 54. I'm a person who's against Chicago cold weather. Playing in the snow, playing in the weather, playing in the elements does not help you. It does not help you win games. You can say, "Oh, people from a team from Florida isn't used to playing in the cold." It don't matter. It don't matter. You play against Minnesota, who's in a dome. You play against Green Bay, who's outside. They understand bear weather. You play against Detroit, who's in a dome. So really, you're not having that big of an advantage in your own city. And it's not like Detroit doesn't know how to play in Green Bay where it's frozen. It's, you know what I'm saying? Every team in the Bears division is going through either the frozen tundra or Soldier Field. Yeah, they know how to play in the cold. These are professional athletes being paid millions and millions of dollars a year. If you can't play in the cold, if that's your one downfall, I mean, the Super Bowl's not going through the Bears. Hosting giant events isn't going through Soldier Field. Like a Taylor Swift concert is not going through Soldier Field right now. I want to see a big change, right? I want a dome with natural grass. That would be so cool. I am a natural grass fan because there's less injuries on natural grass. But I want to see that move be sold to someone who actually cares about winning. Hopefully we have a great base being built here where Ryan Poles can be one of those GMs that just keeps their job forever, you know, and knows how to draft people, and he could be part of the next generation. I can see that happening. He's young enough where I think he's like 35 or 36. He's a young enough guy. I remember when they said that, I remember thinking, oh, I could be the Bears GM right now if I just had a football career. You know what I'm saying? And my back would still be achy. Anyways, I'm just gonna kick it off to next week. Bear down. I'm gonna take you guys out on the train here. We're gonna take the train out because that's the easiest way to get out of Soldier Field. But you got at least a 3-mile walk to the train.